Everybody, welcome to another episode of Proficient Fans. My name is CB and with me is
Clay Haggard.
Clay.
CB.
I am excited for today.
I'm excited for today as well.
I'm sitting here like I have these two games going on. We'll get into the games themselves later.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm this excited, I can only imagine what if my team was actually playing, how excited I would be. So, like all day, like I came in here, I drew my line in the sand of my two teams that I want to see win, and I'm looking forward to today's games.
Yeah.
I love the fact that they're later, like 3:30 and 6:15, I believe it is, or 6:30.
Yeah.
Definitely excited for that.
I think it's 3 and 6:30.
I got it in the notes.
Pretty
somewhere.
sure it's 3 and 6:30.
But as far as the week, though, it was, it was a week. It was nothing crazy. I think it was just because I was looking forward to these football games because,
and not too much football news popped off, really.
No, there really wasn't. So, other than that, week was solid.
Yeah.
Solid week.
Yeah, I went to that Red Wings game last Tuesday. That was a ton of fun.
Nice.
That was my neighbor's first professional hockey game he had been to. And Red Wings ended up getting a victory in overtime. And I just happened, it's 3-on-3 when they go into overtime in hockey. And I was like, man, they're about to do a face-off down in the other zone. And I was like, let me see if I can capture this on video. And as soon as I start the video, 2 seconds later, game-winning goal. Everyone stands up cheering, goal horn goes off. I just thought that was pretty neat. That was a really fun experience. Traveling there and back, super easy. They didn't get caught in any, jams or slowed down much. Did
you guys stay the night there, or did you guys just come back that night?
Nah, I drove there, watched it, drove back.
What time did that get over with?
Right around 11.
Oh, okay. So what?
No, 10. Sorry, 10. We got home at midnight. We made crazy time on the way home. And I was cruising at 75 or 76. We weren't even going fast.
I'll take it.
We just, yeah, dude.
I like it.
Off and on, real quick highway. It was smooth, all things considered.
I brought it up to you. I was 2 seconds away from just going ahead and just booking it for myself. But,
yeah.
The Lakers play the Pacers Thursday, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. I found an Airbnb.
What's funny is I was like, CB hasn't hit me up for that Pacers game.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, I don't know, maybe he's not thinking of going.
I ended up pulling it back and decided not to do it. Just, I don't know, no good reason. I just was just like, you know what, I'll just catch it next year, I guess. There's still Chicago, which I may drop the ducats for that, but I don't really know. I just have to drive back that night, and I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just don't want to. So, but yeah, that sounds like fun. What did your neighbor think?
He had a ton of fun.
Yeah,
he really enjoyed it, and I'm not saying he's obviously a full blown hockey fan, but he still wants to go grab or catch a K-Wings game or two now before the season ends.
Certainly.
Just so yeah, we'll find some time. Maybe $1 beer, $1 hot dogs, or maybe it's $2 beer, $2 hot dogs.
I was just thinking about
but
the wings the other day because I think a couple guys at work were going, and that's the reason why I was like,
I've been to a couple, man. I enjoy them. They're fun.
This year you have? I was thinking about this year.
This season, I don't know. I haven't. Last year, I went to a couple K-Wings games.
I was going to say, last year I went to the one that you invited us out to.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, why don't we come to this more often? And then, I still didn't go this year. So, yeah. But let's get in some footy ball.
Mm-hmm. Some footy ball.
Being that we did have games on Saturday that we already kind of spoke about. But, I forget who they were. I've moved on. Saturday games. What were the Saturday games?
Bills Bengals. Over the Saturday ones.
Yeah.
I think it was Bills Bengals, wasn't it?
The answer to your question, Clay.
I don't remember who played on Saturday.
It was
Cowboys. Did the Cowboys play the Saturday game?
Yeah.
Cowboys Eagles?
No.
Or Cowboys
no,
Niners,
no.
excuse me.
Cowboys
they were
Niners
Sunday. They were Sunday night.
And Bengals played Sunday.
Against the Bills.
So that would have been Eagles.
Look at our memory.
Who the Eagles beat last week?
We're terrible.
Who the Eagles beat last week?
I don't know. I'm so geeked for today's games.
I know.
I honestly don't really remember.
It doesn't matter. Saturday games happen.
It doesn't matter.
And we Sunday's games, though, those were actually good games.
Yeah.
We had the AFC divisional round where the Cincinnati Bengals defeated
Buffalo Bills
27-10.
Yeah. Told you them Dolphins exposed Buffalo.
And to a lot of people's surprise, I think that the Buffalo Bills did not win. I mean, they came into the very first game of the season. They were slated as the number one contender for the Super Bowl and winning it. And essentially, they played pretty well all season long. I mean, you can't really take anything away from them as far as what they were able to accomplish this year. Did they seem like a little shaky? I feel like yes, and I also realized, though, that a big piece that they brought in on the defense side of the ball was injured for a great portion of this season.
Yeah.
They signed Von Miller in the offseason, and then, unfortunately, he got injured where he wasn't able to play. And Von Miller, as old as he is still a huge difference on that defense. And so, all in all, they were able to pick up the slack because they are still the Buffalo Bills. But I think that Von Miller very well could have been a missing piece on why they weren't a little bit more dominant throughout the later half of the season.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I think, the Bills' defense is definitely a strong part of their team.
Yeah.
And it's funny because Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and you just got all these studs, Gabe Davis. But it is, I think a lot of people do forget that it's their defense, which is actually the strongest portion of that team right now. I think, it's surprising to see Josh Allen struggle so much in the postseason because it's becoming a trend. And I'm not trying to downgrade Josh Allen by any means, but, dude, he tends to lose a lot of these games leading up to these Super Bowls. And it just can't seem to really get over the hump. I'm not saying it's bad performances, but I told you, I was just like, making sure he takes care of the football, things like that, and Cincinnati's defense stayed super stout, and they were able to hold them off.
I don't know if I heard this or if I thought this, that Josh Allen very well could be the new Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Or right now it's looking, there's two people in the league that could be the new Aaron Rodgers. And that's Josh Allen, and that's Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by the new Aaron Rodgers? Can you elaborate?
So even though Josh Allen hasn't gotten to a Super Bowl yet,
right?
But we have Patrick Mahomes, who's won a Super Bowl, and then since then gets right there.
Sure.
And then loses. Same again with Aaron Rodgers, would always get right there and lose. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting here going, when are we going to kind of realize that if this is a trend of theirs or not? Like where...
Sure.
Don McNabb, who went to 4 straight NFC championship games and lost 4 straight NFC championship games. These are the type of players that I'm like, wow, are these guys great where we're going to talk about them being one of the greatest playing, but... they just have this. They've already reached their ceiling,
right?
And that's what I was kind of. Josh Allen, as great as he is, and I'm sure I don't know what his stats are compared to the quarterback I'm going to mention, but right now, still to this day, Jim Kelly is going to be the best Buffalo Bills quarterback of all time.
Yeah, as of right now.
Well, that's exactly it.
I'm
like he's got to start getting to Super Bowls. And if he can pull off a couple wins.
Yeah, right. One Super Bowl and one win, and you pass Jim Kelly.
There's just certain things that I'm looking at that I was just like, oh, man, I would really like to see him. I like Josh Allen. I don't want to see him not reach that pinnacle, but it's starting to be concerning to me.
Other game, Eagles-Giants.
That was...
And that was a blowout. I think, let me check. I think it was like 38-7.
Well, you talking about the Saturday game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Sunday. Wasn't that the Sunday one?
Sunday was San Francisco and
we
Dallas.
already clarified. We were trying to figure out who the Eagles played.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, they played the Giants.
Yeah.
And then Chiefs-Jags.
Yep.
So, we had, Bengals-Bills, and then it was Cowboys-49ers.
Yeah, which another good game. Sunday's games are way better than
Saturdays.
Saturdays. we had the Niners end up pulling off the victory there, and where it was 19-12. So, I mean, very close. Dak Prescott, one of those guys that
predictable,
is starting to become that.
I'm gonna actually. I know where you were going with that. I'm gonna disagree, dude. I think Dak is a sham. I'm over the Dak Prescott hype completely. Yeah. I think he has proven, and I understand he got injured, but even if you go back to the year before that or the year before that, either A, he can't stay healthy, or B, he always underperforms in games where he should be able to step up and take charge.
I mean,
he's not as good of a quarterback as all of the hype gave him.
Actually, my weekly thought on Dak Prescott was he is Tony Romo. Where
sure.
Once again, a quarterback that you're going to sit there, but definitely is not the. I don't want to say definitely, but the shelf life on him, I'm figuring out whether or not he was going to be the guy to really lead a team. Was very short. Romo was very short. He's very short because you put all the talent around the world around them, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm always high on Dak. I always tell myself this is the year the Cowboys' offense just blows up, and it just never happens. Though it never comes to fruition, and I've noticed that Dak can have a big game, 4 touchdowns, 350 yards, and then it's gone. Oh, and he doesn't even hit that pinnacle again.
Yeah.
It's like he has that big game, and then it's down, up a little, down, up a little, down, and he's too inconsistent. He can't take care of the football. I mean, I don't want to just use the Cowboys 49ers, divisional game as an example of Dak Prescott in his whole career, but he's doing it in regular season. He's done it in previous seasons, and there's enough consistency from his lack of consistency, ironically, that I'm over the Dak hype, and I just don't see him as a guy who will ever get the Cowboys to the promised land.
If you can't get yourself hyped as a player when you're going against a rival, this is a historic rivalry, of playoff football, and you can't get to be better and be more in tune with what's going on in the game, you've definitely lost a lot of trust. Your best friend Zeke, how quickly the mighty have fallen there. He was the guy, and then Pollard, legitimately, I feel like comes out of nowhere and just takes over.
Yeah. I mean, Pollard hit at least my radar. Pollard hit the scene 2 seasons ago. Last season, he got way more touches and really started to break out. But then this year, it was, why do we have Zeke?
100%.
And he still contributes, but he's not as explosive. He's getting, Zeke's got to be close to 27, 28.
Yeah, I mean, he's, good for him. He got a bag, but I mean.
No, he did.
It was just, it's buyer's remorse. I'm not a Cowboy person, but I mean, if I'm a Cowboys fan, Cowboy organization, there's a huge buyer's remorse on what I paid to make sure that I got
Brandon,
to.
chime in. I know you're listening, dude. Chime in on Facebook or whatever in the comments. I'm curious what his thoughts are on Zeke, because I guess I don't know if we've really gone in depth on how he feels about individual players.
Right.
I'm sure he's butthurt about my Dak Prescott comment, but I mean, don't stop throwing interceptions. But yeah, I'm curious about Zeke, because I'm to a point where it's like, Zeke, you got to go. Pollard, you get the bag.
Yeah.
I don't know Zeke's contract stipulations, if they're tied in, what that cap hit would be and all that kind of stuff. But realistically, I'm not saying you have to get rid of him. I think you keep him as a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
I just don't know what their cap space allows, and if they can keep Pollard, or if Pollard's going to hit the market and see what happens.
I would maybe look to a restructure with Zeke. Mm-hmm. To see how quickly you can get rid of that money.
Yeah.
And get him free up more cap space.
Honestly, they need to switch him to an incentive based.
Yeah, but I mean, they wouldn't. That's probably not a contract he would sign.
No. I know, but I'm just saying from his kind of lack of performance, it would be one of those all right, dude, look, if you want another contract or you want to restructure something that's going to be, we want to go beneficial for the team. You're still hypothetically thinking he's like, I still need to take care of me. okay, well, we'll give you what you want, but you got to hit these milestones. A tough thing, I guess, in hindsight, thinking about that is when you have another running back like Tony Pollard, like, are you potentially putting your locker room in a toxicity standpoint of like, you need to do this in order to earn this, but now you're splitting touches and like,
and
could he say you're not giving me the ball?
Exactly.
And so that's kind of where I was going with that. So,
like, if it's you know 2nd and 1 on the fucking 1 yard line, and Pollard's in there, you're like, hey, I'm incentive based here. Why can I get it?
Yep.
You know?
So maybe in hindsight that wouldn't be the best way to go. But we'll see, man. All I know is those Eagles are for real.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say. So I mean, you know, Niners and Cowboys, Dallas or the Niners. I mean, they look good, man. They look real good. They look like a big problem. As bad as Dallas looked, which they didn't. I mean, they only look bad on the offense side of the ball, right? Yep. I mean, which I learned this week. Micah Parsons used to wrestle. Oh, and was pretty good.
Yeah, I figured. I figured.
So, yeah. But anyways, you know, the 49ers won. Brock Purdy, I look at him and, like, it's funny because I see him on the sideline, and he looks like the little brother wanting to hang out with all the big brothers, you know, all the upperclassmen kids. Hey, guys. Mm-hmm. And then he gets on the field, and he's just like, we're just going to have some fun.
Yeah.
Whip, whip, whip. Yeah. Hey, Georgie.
Yeah.
Here you go, buddy. You know, Brennan Ayaki. I can't say your name.
Ayuk.
I know. But I was. I know I fuck up names, but I actually know his name.
Teriyaki, go deep.
You know, so you know, I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do this week. What I want to do is
tell me what you want to do, CB.
I want to take a piss.
Okay.
So let's take a break and then we'll come back.
Keep the camera rolling.
So, what? I had to get my notes back up.
When you do the edit, make sure there's a toilet flush in there.
I know, right?
Whoosh.
Oh,
Dak's career.
Just watch it go. Just a picture.
Cowboys fans are like, okay, move on. Next segment.
What's with the fucking cowboy hate? Which I also think about that. I was just like, I don't get why everybody's like unanimously hates the Cowboys. I mean, I guess.
I mean, they're self-proclaimed America's team. Why do people hate the Lakers? Why do people hate the Yankees? Why do people hate seeing good teams be successful?
I know, but I mean, like but I look at the Cowboys and I'm like, they
haven't had success in a long time.
I don't think about them. I don't think about the Yankees like that. As far as that, I mean, maybe it's because like I'm a
bandwagon fan.
I'm a Jeter fan, and I rocked with him throughout his career. So I mean, so therefore, yeah, I would say that's probably the reason why I root for them a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But and Lakers, I mean, I get it when you win a championship, maybe even a couple every 10 years. That's easy to understand why people hate you. So, speaking of championships. We have the NFC Championship starting today at 3 p.m. At the Link. And it's the 49ers. They're visiting, and they said they're going to take it over. This week, I have so enjoyed social media for all the hype videos. And just seeing all the fans like traveling and all this stuff. It's been so fun to sit there and be like, man, you guys are living it. Like, yeah. You know, just seeing how excited everybody gets, and what do you? We got your Niners and against Philly.
I mean, I don't know about my Niners.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, I to be completely honest, man, I wouldn't say out of the four teams, because first off, the four teams that are in their conference championships are also evenly matched.
Oh, yeah.
All four of
these teams. That's the reason why I'm so excited.
And all four of these teams not only should be in their conference championship, all four of these teams can win a Super Bowl. There's not one team that's in there. Like, for example, let's say the Giants would have beaten the Eagles, okay? I don't think I'd be here going, yeah, Giants got a shot. No. I would literally, I'd be like, well, 49ers are in the Super Bowl. Like, doesn't there seem to be one of those matchups. It just seems like, I feel like I kind of counted the Bengals out till the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl. It's like they're not going to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They beat the Chiefs. Now they have my respect, but like, I don't feel like that's a thing this year.
Yeah.
Eagles can win, Niners can win, Bengals can win, Chiefs can win. To answer your question about the Eagles, Niners, I do think I'm rooting more so for the Niners if I had to pick a team. I think both teams are great. I really don't have anything against either team. I just feel like the Niners defense, and I'm a big and the Eagles defense is fantastic too, but the Niners defense is first in a lot of categories. I think they're first in points per game, and they're first with yards against. And what are the Eagles on offense? First for points per game, first in yards. Yep. So you have a team that's number one in the league in two categories going against a defense that's first in the league in those same two categories. Like, you talk about a freaking matchup. I think this is honestly the game to watch, even over Chiefs-Bengals with Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow. I really think that from a matchup standpoint, I think this NFC Championship is going to be a hell of a game. I'm really excited to watch it, but, losing Trey Lance, losing Jimmy G, bring in Brock Purdy. Purdy hasn't even freaking lost this season. He's undefeated in the postseason, led his team to an NFC Championship. I'm technically not a guy for a story like you say you are, even though you're going against him. But I just find, Mr. Irrelevant. Like, how cool and the thing is it's not like he's getting lucky, dude. He's beating teams. He is beating teams outright to get him there. I do like Christian McCaffrey. I love he comes onto the team, instantly makes them a even better organization.
It's hard not to have Christian McCaffrey on your team and not be better.
Big George Kittle fan. I like Kyle Shanahan and what he does on the offensive side. I think I'm just more so rooting for them. I'm indifferent on Philly. I got no affiliation with them. I mean, it's cool to see Jalen Hurts and his development just from someone who appreciates the game of football. I've loved to see us going from, maybe Jalen Hurts isn't the guy to, wow, he could win MVP. Like, it's crazy step up.
So I know I've never went against Jalen Hurts.
So, but no, I'm referring to us talking about his struggles and inability to get going. Yeah. We talked about that. We said without his legs, he would be nothing in this league. And we literally said that his rookie year, and we said that last year. Last year, he was starting to get the passing going, and if I remember, you and I both said that don't give up on him. Like, he's not not a point where you stop believing in him. He's too young. We said the same about Tua.
Well, we had a rookie, said the same about Herbert. Smith, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, it was like a bunch of timing and all that stuff that they were working through.
So yeah, and you see where they're at now. And the Eagles, they really haven't dropped the ball this season. I think they had one really bad loss, but they've been playing good football.
I don't remember if Jalen Hurts was even playing that game.
I don't either.
Because I know he was out for a couple games, and I am definitely Philly bandwagon.
Mm-hmm. It's because of Tara, though, or is it because?
So I mean,
for Philly, just curious, because I mean, when you got someone in the household rooting for the Eagles,
it's easier for me to. I mean, like, I pay more attention to the Eagles because of Tara,
right?
And then they got Jalen Hurts, a quarterback that I wanted, and I've just been a fan of his. So therefore, just seeing what they've been able to do, Jason Kelsey finding out his personality a little bit because of his podcast and being more in the public eye now, and I really respect the shit out of him and realize how good he is. Because I'll be honest, unless you're on the Lions' offensive line, I'm not really thinking about any other offensive lineman, and I think about him because of the fact that I'm just like. You're hearing stories and interviews.
Yeah, future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, so, and I don't know. They got a wicked fucking sweet theme song. I'm just sitting here all day. No one likes us. No one likes us. No one likes us. We don't care.
Yeah.
We're from Philly, fucking Philly. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I was from Philly and I was a Philly fan like that. And I was just sitting there going and thinking of my song, and I'm like, we need a better intro to our song.
Yeah.
So the intro would be great that you give us on draft day this year.
Yeah, you wish, buddy. You wish.
I don't know. We are the story right now.
So the Miami Dolphins, as of right now, have one of the hardest strengths of schedules next year. We play in Philly. We play in Kansas City. Don't you dare tell me that we're not going to be...
We play Kansas City next year, too.
Do you? Mm-hmm. It'll be a tough game. Hopefully you play it at home. Not pumped going on the road to a lot of these
I'm not for sure
places. I'm actually kind of hoping when we play Kansas City, it's overseas. They're one of the international games. I'm like, that'd be cool.
No, that's what they're talking about for the Lions and Chiefs.
Gotcha.
I've heard that being tossed around.
It's actually probably not fun for the players. That's a lot of time zone jump. That's
my barber and I were talking yesterday or Friday, and he made a comment about that being a possibility, and I was like, "You gonna go to that one?" he said because he was kind of talking about the places he was planning on going. I think we play an Arrow. Yeah, we'd be playing an Arrowhead.
Yeah,
because he was talking about he's wanted to go there, so he's going to go there next year unless it goes to Germany. And he goes, because I've always wanted to go to that stadium. I go, wait, you've always wanted to go to the stadium in Germany? You're going to go to Germany?
Yeah.
And he goes, no, Arrowhead, but I mean, I guess if I didn't go to any other games that I just went to go see the Lions in Germany, that might be pretty cool. So
it's a big commitment, but it would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, shit, he went to like 4 away games this year, so but yeah, where were we? I'm just excited for Philly, and I pay attention to him because I am a huge Jalen Hurts fan.
Sure.
I love to see him succeed because of the fact that like he was a guy that I wanted my Lions to get, and I want to know that I assessed that talent well.
Yeah.
Well,
we also
I'm also not mad because I have Penny Sewell, so
there you go. Well, we have the another juggernaut matchup, a repeat actually.
Yeah.
At 6:30 with the Bengals traveling to Kansas City.
Yeah. Gonna be kicking off at 6:30 at Burrowhead Stadium.
Burrowhead. And, I will say, so the Bengals are 3-0 in the last fiscal calendar year, because it said calendar year on ESPN, and I was like, I think you guys mean fiscal, because calendar would have been a couple weeks ago technically,
right?
But or maybe she meant the 2022 calendar year. That would make sense because they won the AFC Championship in 2022, and then you go into the 2022 season.
Yeah.
I don't remember them playing twice though, so I don't know where they get this number. It doesn't matter, but apparently Joe Burrow's 3-0 against the Chiefs in their last 3 matchups, and it's crazy to see because I remember, dude, distinctly remember. Granted, this is when they still had Tyreek and stuff, but you and I said who's gonna stop the Chiefs? This team is freaking a dynasty. They're just built for success.
It was definitely when they had Tyreek.
And we weren't wrong. They've still gone to now 5 straight AFC championships. That's a lot, dude. 5 straight. I mean, and they've gone to 3 Super Bowls out of those 5 appearances, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe at least 2, because I know they've won one and they've lost one.
I thought they went to back-to-back, and they lost the first one, won the second one.
Okay. For some reason, I was thinking Mahomes had lost 2 Super Bowls.
I could be
wrong. It doesn't matter. 5 straight, regardless, is impressive. I'm sure they probably fucking lost to the Patriots in one of them.
Right.
But I once again, I already said any of these teams can go. I have a real tough time picking on this one, especially with Mahomes' high ankle sprain. And I'm really actually bummed, dude, that's a thing, because I feel like, are we truly getting a full-blown, full-strength matchup, one on, Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, when Mahomes is banged up? I don't think the ankle is going to be a problem. People were talking about how well he was walking post interviews, pre-interview, just getting around.
Yeah.
People are like, he's not limping, he's not showing pain, he's not in a boot, he's not braced up. Rehab went really well.
Yeah. Right.
Because you could tell how injured he was in that game.
In the game, it was. We spoke about it Sunday, where I was just really amazed with after that sprain occurring and how he was still making moves.
Yeah.
You could tell he was favoring it, but he was still making really good football moves.
Mind over matter.
It was very Mamba-esque, so I was very proud of him there.
Well, so what do you think in this game, though? Because I know you want Bengals.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, Joe Burrow guy. I tried to talk to you about him his rookie year. Then by the time that maybe you would have had the opportunity, he got injured, was out for the season. So and then of course when he came back, you saw what he did last year.
Yep. Once he came back from injury and did what he did, that's when I was like, okay, you're the real deal. Dude.
I look back that rookie season, and it wasn't because of college. I was just like, I just so happened to see a game would end, and they would go right over to a Bengals game because they'd still be playing, and I would see this guy week in, week out, really fighting. They were losing, but really fighting and making plays. Of course, he has to have a receiver make catches, but he was still making plays and willing that team to make it a close game.
Yep.
And, I was just really impressed. I was like, if they actually get somebody around him, this is going to be good. They got Jamar Chase, which is a pretty good thing to bring around him. Joe Mixon, I feel like he's been around, but this year I feel like he really came out of nowhere. Because when you're just sitting there, I don't think you would expect what you got out of Joe Mixon this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I wanted them to. I guess I did say I won. I think I said I wanted the Rams to win last year. I was just like, no, I was against Matthew Stafford regardless because I was like, I don't care.
Because you're petty.
Yeah. But I was also like, if you win a ring, good for you. I'm really happy. But I to see him so close. And that team so close. And I mentioned to you earlier, I'm like, Joe Burrow got sacked 7 times last year in the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Now they have a very open-nosed offensive line right now because they have starters out this week.
Yep.
So they're running with the backups, and we've had this discussion 100 times. There's a skill difference there, and I just feel that as long as his receivers make the catches that they're going to have to make because he's going to be pressured. I was thinking about pressure when you were talking about San Francisco and
that D
Philly.
Line, boy.
Well, because of the fact that this D line is better than any of the D lines that I feel like he's faced yet. So I was just like, he's going to get pressured. But anyways.
He has the legs to get out of it.
No, that's what I'm not trying to down him. I was just like, this. He's going to have to make a lot of good decisions on the run. And the same thing is going to be for Joe Burrow this week. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot of decisions moving. It's not going to be a lot of pocket passing.
Right.
I myself am definitely going to be a Bengals guy. I do like Kansas City. You mentioned off mic. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, it's hard not to be fans of them. Andy Reid, Big Red. It's hard not to, seeing him succeed. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't disagree. I can't sit there and say, you're wrong, Clay. I would love to say that. But I'm both of your choices for the wins this week. I really can't say that you're wrong. And that's what's great about this weekend.
Yeah. And, I think the reason I do think the Chiefs are going to be able to pull it out, one, I do think they got a chip on their shoulder, dude. They know they're good, and to lose to Cincinnati last year at Arrowhead, I think they have something to prove. I don't see the ankle being much of an issue for Patrick. I really think that he's going to rise above it. I think there are certain guys that play football that have the ability to just block out little things and rise above, with Burrow being one of those guys who was proven, and I think Pat Mahomes has that ability. I think he's going to be able to play his game. Will he be as mobile? We'll have to see because we don't know the real health of his ankle. We don't. He could be 100%, and that high ankle sprain could have been bothering him that day.
Was that his left foot?
Right.
Which is even scarier because
it is his planting foot.
Yeah, when you that planting.
Yeah. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. I think them being at Arrowhead, being home, having that crowd behind them, it's going to be loud as hell. I think that's going to be a huge help as well. Andy Reid, after last weekend, we talked about him being tied with Tom Landry. He just passed Tom Landry, second all-time most postseason victories in NFL history. That veteran coaching, I think that's going to play a huge part too. We talk a lot about what the players do. Can they, and then we mention schemes, but we don't too often go deep into coaching veteranship, coaching history. I mean, you can see on the TV they're talking about Eric Bieniemy going and interviewing for this Ravens job. I mean, I remember last year the Dolphins were like thinking of maybe bringing Bieniemy over for a head coaching job. So you got a potential future head coach, which I think is going to happen. I think it's inevitable. You got one of the greatest head coaches of all time on Kansas City sideline. I think little things like that.
He wasn't going to be a head coach.
I think that might have said OC, but he was head coach candidate last year for multiple teams.
Oh yeah,
he has the qualities and resume.
That I get. I was just like, wait a minute here. Like, I was just like, I thought because Harbaugh's still there and they love him.
Yep. So I don't know, man. We'll see. So I'm going. If I had to pick two teams, Chiefs, Niners. And you got Bengals, Eagles. Couldn't be more opposite.
I know, right?
But I mean, I think that once again, to reiterate what you said like 50 times, it just speaks to how good of games
I can't
and
explain,
good of matchups that we get to witness today.
And I don't remember it being like this.
That's why I said there's always one game where you're like, oh, either of those guys. You get. I remember we were thinking like Chiefs, Bills, and it's like, who knows?
Yeah.
Where now it's like Chiefs, Bengals, and then it was like, oh, Chiefs got it. Bengals upset them. You come back into this season to replay that same matchup.
Yep.
You're talking about, honestly, the defending Super Bowl champions. Or not defending, again, Rams won, but Super Bowl appearance. Sorry. I was thinking they went there last year. So, and Jamar Chase is nice.
That's why.
T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
All of them. Hayden Hurst, he's back. Joe Mixon.
It's these are two high-powered offenses.
Hey, shout out Pat Mahomes. Everyone thought when Tyreek left Kansas City, they'd take a step back.
I was one of them.
Nope.
I was one of them.
Nope.
Because I mean,
I was.
Here's the thing: is look. I'm sorry, but look at like the difference maker that he is. Mm-hmm. I mean, when he came over to Miami and the season that you guys had his first year there. Mm-hmm. Not shitting on your team. I'm just saying.
No. I mean, Tua stepped up the right year. Waddle developed new coaching with good scheme. A lot of it makes a difference, but I think Tyreek has shown no matter where he goes, he's a playmaker.
Yeah.
Get the ball to me. I'll make shit happen.
Yep.
And I think what a lot of people aren't giving him credit for is they're talking about, he's not doing the long ball anymore. It's like, why do you think he had so many receptions? You're telling me Tyreek isn't creating separation?
Yeah.
His speed alone creates separation without him having to make good breaks or moves.
And it's easier, and call me crazy, but it's easier for them to catch when you break separation in shorter routes and make big plays rather than going down there, running. You got somebody, I mean, like he's faster than everybody, but I mean, right there on your heels and then trying to catch over your shoulder. It's not as easy as being able to look right at the fucking quarterback and catch the rock. So I never understood why, people would give him shit, or any receiver for that matter, a lot of shit if they can create the play in a shorter period and then run long. So what are you looking for? What game are you looking forward to watching most? Because these are, like we said, two fantastic 51 times games that we have this weekend.
Honestly, man, they're both good. I'm going to say, for the sake of it being different and for the sake of that offensive-defensive matchup, I'm going to go Eagles-Niners, dude. I really, I don't think that's going to be the popular answer. I think the popular answer is going to be the Mahomes versus Burrow. I think that's what a lot of people are going to say they're more excited for, because both of those teams, if you go off probably recent history, are both more Super Bowl capable contenders than it would be Philly or San Francisco. I mean, shit, Philly hasn't been this relevant since the McNabb T.O. era.
No, 100%.
You know what I mean? So they're kind of coming out of nowhere.
I literally thought that you were going to choose the Burrow Mahomes.
Yeah, Niners defense, bro, I'm really interested to see.
I'm so excited because I'm looking at the Philly. I'm excited for this Philly game, and I'm sitting here going, let's fucking go, because then I before I walked out of the house, I go, I can't wait till those Philly games are over with so I can get into my fucking Bengals mode. I was like...
I just feel like the Eagles-Niners game, those two defenses are bar none better than Bengals and Chiefs defenses. They still have very respectable defenses, but we're talking about juggernauts.
I was going to say...
top three defenses, but I'm a defensive-minded guy. I always have been. I played on the defensive end of the football. I just enjoy hard-nosed, gritty, defensive football games. And the shitty part is like then that's when you have lower scoring games. But I guess I just appreciate that because it's so much more difficult to dominate the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Because you're always reacting to an offensive play call. And I have so much respect for defensive players and what they do when they go out there and take one of the best teams in the NFL and go, not fucking today, not on my field. And that to me is so satisfying to watch. So, but regardless, both games, I do hope we get good matchups.
Yeah.
Because like you said, last Saturday, blowouts. Last Sunday, great matchups. Mm-hmm. And that Sunday football was just fun to watch at all levels. So I just hope we get that today.
I know Monday I was a little disappointed because I went home and there was no Monday Night Football.
I know. So, I was upset last week when I was wearing Red Wings gear, not Dolphins gear. I haven't seen Honolulu Blue in here in a long time. Let's segment. What I want to do here is...
I'm looking forward to this Eagles game myself.
Yeah.
I'm bored with you there.
Niners.
You know, I looked at what was on next, and then I fucking forgot where we're going to.
Running quarterbacks.
Yeah. So I feel like it was a headline, an article. I don't know what it was, but it just really got to me.
Clearly.
Because
there's more notes on that than any of the football games.
Well, it was just, it was because I don't understand why, and I'm kind of tired of it. Of everybody always saying that a running quarterback's not going to make it in this league. Mm-hmm. And I think it was because I was thinking of Jalen Hurts because he's what you would consider a running quarterback.
Yep.
And then I also realized that until he got some pieces put around him to allow him to play as a quarterback, mm-hmm. he's shown that he's a great quarterback, at least for a year. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? He's, you mentioned earlier, MVP candidate, and if you look through time, going back to the RG3 conversation with the running quarterback mm-hmm. being put in a bad situation, Justin Fields.
I mean, there's tons of them. Cam Newton. Yeah. There's quite a few, and they're just like, oh, there's no longevity there because all they do is run. I'm like, well, they're running for their lives, mm-hmm. and so yeah, I'm sitting there, and I'm curious on why do you think that people continuously say that there's no longevity in this league for a running quarterback? Yeah, I mean, other than the obvious where you're running, you're going to get hit more, potential injuries, you're not really built to sustain that many hits. I think a lot of people, I think it's one of those topics that's just kind of, I can't think of the correct word right now, but when you hear running QB, there's automatically a negative connotation that comes with it. Like there is no running quarterback. So like how does he put it together? What's it look like? What's the scheme? And people don't think of how offenses are orchestrated around a quarterback who has mobility like that. So I think it's an easy answer for a lot of people to just say, oh, so he's more injury prone. It's that simple. I don't think most people go in depth and into the details of how to be successful using your legs. See, I think when a lot of people think of Pat Mahomes, they wouldn't consider him a running quarterback. I would disagree. I think Pat Mahomes is a mobile quarterback in the NFL, and definitely not the only, one of the many reasons that make him in the GOAT conversation of just consistently elite is his ability to run outside the pocket and extend plays.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think mobile as Justin Fields, Jalen Hurts, you got to rush for 800 yards a season. No, you can be a running quarterback who's got a cannon for an arm, Pat Mahomes. How about another name that a lot of people don't think of when we talk about running quarterbacks? Josh Allen.
Right.
He led the team in rushing yards as a quarterback.
I mean...
Fran Tarkington did it first. But I know I'm like trying to because he's white. I thought we were going to be bringing race into it, man. But
I mean, you were asking why.
Let me guess. He's not as fast.
No. I'm not saying that. I mean, but I would.
He goes, but I'll look at the times. Yeah. I'll let you know.
If I remember, his 40 wasn't the fastest.
Yeah. Well, when you're built like Cam Newton, no matter how fast you are.
But I mean,
but at the end of the day, man, I think that's what it comes down to.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, we already know he's a running quarterback.
Deshaun Watson.
Lamar's one of the best runners in the NFL. And so, yeah, dude, you always know I'm a fan of running quarterbacks. I think being able to extend plays gives you such an intangible to your offense, dude.
If you can have a good enough offensive line, anybody can sit in a pocket and pass the ball around.
You should be able to.
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
except Zach Wilson.
Yeah. But to me, running a bootleg, there's a lot more intricacies in that. You got to be able to time everything so that you're running off and be able to lead with the throw off the right foot. Like you don't want to be
accuracy issues, timing issues,
it's everything,
vision issues. Like there's a lot. Like it's anything. Like you can stare at something in the distance if you're standing still. Now start running 7-8 miles per hour to your right and keep your eye dead on that target.
And it's not, and
with other people in the way.
And it's, all these guys a lot of times start out with really bad receiving around them. I have a note on here is like, why do terrible teams just keep drafting them when they have nothing to protect? Like you essentially, like if I'm a bad team, really, really bad team, I might want to focus on protecting my quarterback first. Because if you could build up a nice young stable of linemen, typically don't just change teams. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like when free agency market hits, if you treat your linemen, pay them a good amount, they're going to stick around. So you build up the stable of linemen and then that you're not drafting a skilled player, so you're probably still going to suck, right? Because you're not getting in the end zone. Then you go draft a quarterback because you got, take 4 years, draft lineman, maybe 3.
Yep.
And then get yourself the best, tackle, guard, center, whatever position. And then go get yourself a quarterback. Protect that running quarterback at all costs. That's the reason why, like, right now, I was like, if I'm a Bears fan, I'm happy I have the number 1 draft pick, but I'd be upset because now I have to go for best available instead of really building a team, which I know a lot of times, and I've said it, I'm sure I've agreed with, when you draft, you kind of just need to go after best available for the most part. But if they don't make this a very offensive-minded offseason, or offensive line offseason, they're going to get that poor kid killed.
Yeah.
And, and then that just constitutes why people are just like, well, Michigan fans be like, I told you there's never a successful Ohio State quarterback. And then also people that are against the running quarterback as far as why they wouldn't want one is because of longevity. And I'm just like, if you protect somebody, they will be. That's the reason why I think that like Lamar Jackson being in Detroit. I'm with Goff right now, but I mean Lamar Jackson come to Detroit. Oh my God, you'll get to see what kind of quarterback he could really be with able to actually sit in a pocket, make a pass, run when he wants to. I mean, that's what we saw with Goff this year. So
I think what would change that narrative a little bit is I feel like you do need to we need to have a running quarterback though hit that all-time high GOAT list, because when you really think about GOATs, right? Tom Brady, I guess Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, maybe you could give it to Brett Favre, John Elway. And they're like, Favre and Elway did have their moments of scrambles, but we really haven't had a running or highly mobile quarterback that's really hit that, like, elite.
Yeah.
I do think Mahomes and I would say sparks of Josh Allen are probably the closest. And I do love Lamar. I mean, shit, I told you I'd take him in Miami next season.
Right.
If he wanted to come. Love you, Tua, but like...
There's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of difference. But I mean, like, I want to give it to Lamar, but like, I don't know if Lamar is that man, I'm a big Lamar fan, but like I guess why wouldn't I put Lamar in the elite category? He's consistent.
I mean, he's been able to do a lot of things
He
without.
wins MVPs.
I was going to say he's been able to do it without an
and I think
offensive
that's
line
really what
and
it comes around to, though. Is you talked about weapons and like, you'd put in the notes like 06 Mike Vick and his number one receiver Algie Crumpler. Shout out,
right?
Algie Crumpler. And I was like trying to think of the other receivers, and Brian Finneran is the only one I could come up with, and it was Peerless Price and Des White, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about those dudes. And it's like, Mike Vick, we all know who that is. And why do we know who he is? It's not because of the playmakers he had around him.
Right.
It's because of what he did. And, you see the Justin Fields having issues, and you see, Cam Newton, realistically, even though he was an MVP as well, like never really surrounded by elite talent. He had Steve Smith for a hot sec. That was about it.
That was
Greg Olsen was around. But
Musa Muhammad.
Yeah, well, I don't think he was never a superstar, though.
No, but he's a Lansing native, so big ups.
Yeah, but yes, facts. Go green. go green.
Go white.
Okay, you didn't hear me the first
I
time,
did not.
so I spoke up. But yeah, man, and then you mentioned, I know I'm kind of just reiterating, but you saw what Philly did for Jalen. We're going to draft you Devontae, who you played college ball with. Let's go out and let's get A.J. Brown, too.
Yeah.
One of the top 10 receivers as far as talent goes. Bring him in. Easy transition from Tennessee to Philly for him. And you know what I mean? And then you're drafting younger, a little bit more competent running backs. You give Goddard a little bit more money, keep him around for a little longer, and there you go. You got yourself an offense, and they've always worked on their O-line. Their D-line as well. Like, the trenches in Philly are just outstanding.
Oh, yeah,
They have a phenomenal offensive line, and they have probably the best defense. Well, I actually, up there. Best defensive line in the NFL.
Offensive line-wise goes... If there's a team in this league that I say has had a better offensive line than the Detroit Lions, healthy Detroit Lions, it's Philly. Mm-hmm. And you're like, CB, how can you say that about your Lions? They're sitting at home. They haven't made playoffs. When you look at our offensive line, I would say you could put it up and compare it to
your defense is what you need to work on.
100%.
Yeah.
You know,
not to get off topic.
So,
and your so trenches once again, dude.
Yeah, I mean, like I look, and that maybe that's the reason why I'm sitting here, like defending these running quarterbacks and saying how if I'm going to work on an offensive line first and then build up from there, because guess what? The trenches is the base of every side of the football.
And you've heard legends say the trenches is where you win football games.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's funny if people really take all of these all-time greats, these masterminds of the game, and then go, yeah, you don't know what he's talking about. Like, what are you talking about? Like, if people are saying the trenches, like, start there, I feel like you would think that more teams, more organizations would be like, yo, we need to get these guys up front at a top tier level, because once they're synced, especially when they're a unit and they're synced, your centers are calling out protection schemes, and then everyone knows exactly what's going on. Like, I really feel like that's why this offseason, not to get into a Dolphins or Lions segment, but like, I want to spend all of our focus on offensive line. Like, I would rather draft all linemen and make all linemen offensive free agency moves. Even if we don't touch our banged up secondary or our linebacking core, I don't care. Get the offensive line 100% squared away, because our defensive line is there. We have an elite defensive line. Get our offensive line there. From there, our offense will hopefully only go up, because we had a fantastic offense, especially when Tua was out there, with a garbage-ass offensive line.
Yeah. When we go to Michigan State games,
go green,
go white. I'm the first thing I'm looking at isn't how fast our receivers are coming out, or or anything like that. I constantly watch for at least the good first quarter. I'm focused in on the line. I mean, I called it very earlier within the game. I'm like, why are we walking in slow motion? Like, because I look at the trenches and I'm just like, this is where the game's going to get played. If an offensive,
so many upperclassmen played so poorly last year.
So
I'm with you.
And I mean, it's just they're fun to watch, and I mean, skill players going to do skill player things.
Yep.
So
especially with how good these freaking D linemen are.
yeah.
Like, you look at a Micah Parsons, who's got the strength of a 300-pound nose tackle, but the speed of a freaking cornerback.
Yeah, it's
like, literally. I'm not even exaggerating, people. That's the scary part.
Well, and that's what they said is rookie seasons. There's we could put him at any one of the 11 spots on defense and probably on offense, and he could excel. Doesn't matter where we put him.
That dude's talented.
So, it just, I don't know why, they, and not to forget, I did want to shout out Warwick Dunn on that Falcons team.
Yeah.
Because, Warwick Dunn was the beast back then. What else we got here? We're going to come back and we're going to talk about a little Pro Bowl action.
Yay.
All right. Now it's time to talk about the least favorited part of football ever. The Pro Bowl.
Yeah. I was going to say preseason, but I enjoy preseason.
No, I absolutely love preseason.
Yeah.
This is like the
Hey, at least the NFL's finally starting to transition kind of back to what you and I have been asking for. Because you're correct, like the Pro Bowl turned into, honestly, a waste of time. A complete waste of time.
You want me to tune into a game that nobody's trying?
Yeah, exactly. And, and I do remember, I swear, man, I remember back even, 10 years ago that they at least still tackled each other and they at least still tried to score. And, but yeah, dude, over the last 4, 5, 6 years, it's honestly turned into a touch game. Quite literally. These guys don't really want to put much effort in because, and I guess I understand, no one wants to get hurt. No one wants to risk that next paycheck. And so I respect it. Nothing comes out of the game. At least in the MLB, the winner of the All-Star game gets home field advantage for the frickin' World Series. So there's a little bit riding on that, and at least for the teams that are good, those players are trying. But yeah, man, the NFL is going to try and switch back into more of a skills-focused event this year. I think this is kind of what we've been asking for a while, and it's not going to be full-blown awesome like it was in the late 90s and how that used to be set up.
I think it depends on what players they can actually do to do these events.
Correct, and I was going to say it also depends on who's going to do it. You're not going to see a lot of these the Super Bowl players. You're not going to see any of them there competing. Anyone who's probably waiting on a huge contract and this is their contract year, or they just finished it. I don't know how much they're going to want to play, just to prevent from tweaking something. But at least, in my opinion, this is a step in the right direction.
Yep.
And I think they just need to stop taking these events and be we got to think of the next big thing. No. Just go back to simple shit. Give me quarterback accuracy drills. Give me relay races. You know what I mean? Give me a 40-yard dash.
I was going to say, give me running backs doing obstacle courses and receivers doing obstacle courses.
I was watching skills comps from the 90s, and they straight up had 40-yard dashes.
Get the American Ninja Warrior shit out there. We could have some fun with that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I
see someone slipping off something and hurting themselves, maybe. I guess if they're all in a pool.
Yeah, I was the way I say it when I watch it on the thing, you're falling into water.
Yeah, unless you're trying to reach for something and then you do a weird backflip and break your back.
These are all possibilities, and maybe American Ninja Warrior's not putting those catastrophes on television. But I feel like
do it with a whole bunch of pillows.
I feel like I would have heard a lot more about this because back when that was a big thing. So
yeah, well, we got a little laundry list of the events that they're going to be running here, and they got it broken up into 2 separate days. On February 2nd, they're going to be doing the Epic Pro Bowl Dodgeball.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, we've seen something like that before. But once again, I think it would be awesome. You got to have one quarterback, one running back, 2 receivers, or 1 receiver, 1 lineman. You know what I mean? So you got a nice mix of big guys, quick guys. Throw them all in there for a dodgeball match. I think that'd be
everybody will have fun with that.
Yeah, I think that'll be a fun one. Then they got Lightning Round, which. Lightning Round, I had to put see article. So basically what that means is each conference is going to have 16 players to compete in a 3-part elimination challenge. And essentially what it's going to be is lightning round splash catch. Teammate pairings from each conference will toss water balloons back and forth from increased distances. Obviously, last man standing wins. Then they have tandem. One of them is catching punts from a jugs machine. And then the last one is thrill the spill. The remaining players will aim at targets attached to a bucket hanging above the head of an opposing conference's coach. And the first, I'm probably throwing a football, like,
I liked it.
like dunk tank.
Yeah.
So different, cool. I like how they kind of get the coaches involved on that one.
That's what I
thought that was kind of neat.
That.
And then they have a weird one, longest drive. Quite literally, the golfing longest drive. I think they're going to get like 3 swings or something. Whoever can drive the golf ball the longest in the fairway. Weird. But I guarantee it's going to be funny watching some of those dudes swing a golf club.
I think you were going to find out who some real fucking strokers are.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
I'd Pat Mahomes. He won't compete, but I'm saying, like, you know what's also kind of cool, which I'm just now thinking about an event like that? There are a lot of players that could compete in that normally wouldn't compete in the other physical activities.
Right. You might see
anyone could do that.
You might see a punter go out there for the drive challenge.
Yeah, but I was thinking even like, let's just say Pat Mahomes' ankle was 100. Why couldn't he do that?
Yeah.
He's not going to risk injury for football. You know what I mean? Stretch out. Don't hurt your back like I did last season. But realistically, like, that's something really cool. Not really football related, but it's just one of those, like, we're human. Like, look at us try and do something else and watching how maybe, like, poorly some of these guys are going to swing. And I think that gives us a sense of groundedness that these players are all human. And then you also still get to then watch them do relay races and push massive weight down football fields and go, oh, but you are still a robot. Got it. Precision passing. Probably the one I'm most excited for. Yep. I love precision passing events. So hopefully this gets back down to the moving targets. It'll probably be paper like they usually do, where they have a big paper thing. You throw a football and it breaks through the paper, and you get points for it. And then the last one is best catch. I don't know what that is compromised of, because if it's anything like the other year, it's going to be kind of dumb where there's a pad, you run up to it, and then you just jump and kind of do a flip and catch a ball one-handed.
All right.
I think those are a little lame, personally. Like, I'd much rather do like a toe-touch corner of the end zone challenge. I think something like that would be kind of cool.
I say you bring in a pool and have them jump off diving boards, stuff out and catch footballs.
I'm okay with Hey, just like we did when we were in school.
Yeah.
I like it.
What were we just talking about?
That's the end of February 2nd events.
Oh, okay.
And then,
the precision passing. I was thinking of, I remember they used to tip the football in chalk.
In chalk, right. Well, and that's why I said they'll probably do paper. But I would love to go back to chalk and throwing that ball 40 yards and see a little chalk cloud.
I like it.
Kind of like that Dan Marino video I shared recently.
Yes.
That was a nasty pass, though. Regardless if he was a Dolphin or not, I was like,
he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Like, it doesn't matter what team he played for. He just so happened to play for your team, which I don't blame you for being hype about an old quarterback like that.
And then on the 5th of February, we have the best catch finale. So apparently they're going to do like elimination rounds.
Two-parter.
They're going to do the finale on the 5th, and then they have Gridiron Gauntlet. That is the one that you are going to love. I'm going to love as well. Gridiron Gauntlet is the relay race. So it's a side-by-side relay race showcasing strength, speed, and agility. 6 players from each conference. And I'm assuming in there, there's going to be like breakaway walls, climb over walls, under tables, tire runs, blocking sled. We've seen this in previous Pro Bowls as well. You got your skill guys doing like all the quick stuff, and you got your big boys doing the sled pushes and stuff. So that'll be fun. You have kick-tack-toe, which is quite literally kickers. They'll put like a digital board up in between the uprights, and you literally have to do tic-tac-toe, taking turns kicking footballs. But it's crazy because these guys have the ability to be that accurate. So, like, we always see them, it's like, just kick it through the uprights and you're good. But it's another thing, just like golfers, to say, okay, hit it through that window pane, but not the one next to it. And then that's when you really start going, oh, shoot, like, okay.
I hear Maher's the favorite. Is that how you say his last name?
Oh, Maher.
Brett
Maher from the Cowboys.
What's the favorite for this one?
Why, did he even make the Pro Bowl? I don't know. And then the last one, which sounds pretty cool too, is called Move the Chains. 4 teams, 2 from each conference, will compete in side-by-side in a weighted wall pole. that showcases strength, speed, and ingenuity. Each team of 5 players is responsible for pulling a wall loaded up with heavy weights 10 yards as quickly as possible using first down chains.
So
it's almost like tug of war, but instead of playing another team, they're going to probably put like 600 pounds on a sled, and they're like, pull it 10 yards.
They're lucky Jalen Hurts
I think it's going to be a ridiculous amount of weight.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I wonder if it's going to be one person at a time, if it's going to be, manageable, but like pull until you get tired and you have to swap out. But like 10 yards, and you have 6 people, like 4 teams, 2 teams from each conference. I guess we don't. Yeah, 5 players pulling something 10 yards. Like that's got to be heavy, dude.
2 Grizz.
I don't know. Like, it's got to be super heavy. Because then you're like, well, how does one person pull 1,000 pounds? Like, is that even possible? Which I know it's possible, but like, what's that look like? But then it's like, well, why would you put a skill guy in there and not like just a bunch of linemen? I don't know. All I know is I'm interested about it. So, and that's kind of what that's going to look like. And then I think they're going to be doing flag football this year, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing a new format for that spotlights flag football. And then, of course, another cool thing, if you're really into the NFL and all the little intricacies that they do, is, they're going to have a lot of Hall of Famers on the sideline interviewing players, talking to players about their futures. Like, so, Aaron, are you out of Green Bay? Knowing they're not going to get the right answers, but, like, they're going to poke those bears and try and figure out what players are maybe thinking of doing.
I don't know if people are going to get that question because of the fact that...
I don't even think he's in the Pro Bowl.
Well, I was just thinking about this recently. A reporter asked Tom Brady what his plans were, and he goes, "I don't fucking know."
Yeah.
And so I think that if Tom Brady's out here in these streets cussing on media, I think the rest of the media is going to be like, you know what, we're going to leave these touchy ones alone for a little bit. Yeah. So, I got nothing else, man.
I'm good.
Fly, Eagles, fly, and who day.
I don't know either of the catchphrases for the so for the Chiefs, I'm gonna go bang bang, and for the Niners, I'm gonna say
there'd be a bang bang too.
I love gold.
Oh, I'm so excited!
Bang bang, shooting everybody. Or is that more of like a Cowboys Indians deal?
Oh, well, if it was Indians, that would be.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Because that's what I was saying. Oh, wait, maybe it'd be more of an arrow or maybe a blow dart.
I feel like blow darts are maybe more...
a little more African?
African, South American.
Okay, all right.
I think the Native Americans didn't do...
I would say bows and arrows and probably spears. Makes most sense.
Definitely spears. They were accurate as fuck with spears.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make Achilles look like he was a punk.
Yeah.
All right, I got nothing else. I'm excited for games.
We'll just cut that. Just cut all that.
That wasn't a bad thing.
It's not racist.
It wasn't.
No, I know. Well, in sports, the Chiefs trying to change their name.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm over here Chiefs and Indians.
Oh yes. Oh,
yeah, just the Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah, them Niners were bang bang. They were them gold diggers.
All right.
I wish we could play Kanye's Gold Digger as we outro, but ain't trying to catch another copyright.
Yeah, right.
We out here.
All right, we out. Episode 225.
He takes my money.
You gonna sing a song? Man, we out. Peace.
Take care.